Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is your boy Darion back with another episode of the Darion Hopkins Show, episode 14. Thank y'all so much for being here on this morning show. We have a lot to impact, we have a lot to unpack, and a lot to talk about on today's show. And just to let y'all know, make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe to the channel on the Darion Hopkins Show. Make sure you follow us on the Darion Hopkins Show, which will be over on Instagram, Twitter, and of course, YouTube as well. So make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. But before we do any of that, make sure you go over to SeatGeek.com if you like live shows, if you like sporting events, if you like anything that you like to go to concerts and everything of that nature. Make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code DHopkins and get your first $20 off your first purchase. Go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code DHopkins. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I have a special guest with me today. I do. I have a special guest with me today. And we've been talking behind the scenes. He was in a live stream last night talking basketball. He's a historian when it comes to basketball. And I am it's an honor to have him on here. And that's my guy, Mr. Conn, man. What is going on, sir? How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on your show. Last night's live feed was fantastic. I encourage everybody and anybody to tune in. It was a great night, and you keep doing the damn thing. Proud of you, my brother.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And it's good to finally have you on the show. You know, we were talking about being on each other's shows behind the scenes and everything of that nature. So
Mhm.
it's really good to see that we can finally get on each other's shows. Hopefully, I could get on your show real soon. I know you have yours on Thursday, which we will be promoting during the podcast. But let's get straight into it before we dive into anything else. We know we had to talk last night about Draymond Green getting suspended. Yeah, we know, y'all. You know how I feel about this, and I'm just not. I was never a Draymond Green fan, even coming out of Michigan State. I was just not a fan of his game. That's just my personal opinion. But I want to hear your thoughts about the suspension and why the suspension happened. Because I think my perspective is a little bit different from yours, but I get what you're saying as well. But for the people that was not there in the chat last night, how what was your perspective of the suspension for Draymond Green?
Well, something that your viewers may not know, I've been a referee for over 40 years, and I've done high school, collegiate, and when you look at it from that perspective, when you're trying as a referee, when you're trying to control a game, you're trying to control the atmosphere, places packed. I mean, implications that could arise because of the playoff intensity. I think that I'm gonna look at it from 2 points. As a referee, to me, that was disrespecting the game. I know Sabonis grabbed his ankle, but two wrongs don't make a right. I think that the suspension was warranted. And then you have the commissioner in the stands as well. And I don't know if you all noticed, but the referees, the officials get graded every single game. After every single game, every single play gets dissected. And if the officials didn't do what they had to do, it's going to come down on them as well. And then you get the NBA commissioner. But to answer your question, I think the suspension was definitely warranted. Again, a lot of people this morning talking about, well, you can't blame the stuff he did in the past, but your past precedes you. As I said last night, what you've done in the past makes a difference. And that's what they said because of all the things he's been doing for the last 5, 6 years. And, he's 32 years old. The man should know better than that. You know what I mean? And my honest opinion is the suspension was definitely warranted.
And I have to agree. I just feel like when it comes to Draymond Green and his situation, he
Hmm.
knows that it's a bullet on him every time he steps on the floor because of his past. He
Hmm.
knows that no matter what he does, the referee's going to find a way to reject him, eject him from the game or suspend him. Knowing that the commissioner was in the building at the game, I think that was enough shown from what he's seen in person to suspend Draymond Green. And people try to defend Draymond Green because Sabonis grabbed his ankle. I understand that.
Mhm.
But you look at the film itself, it could have been avoided.
Yes.
If you look at it after he unleashed his ankle, you did not have to step on his chest. You could have stepped over him and hopped over him and moved up. You people what makes me mad about Draymond Green's interview in his press conference, he said that he had nowhere else to go. But you jumped really high after you pressed down on the man's chest. I'm confused with that. So I'm trying like it makes it makes it doesn't make it better for you because now you didn't care that you stepped on Sabonis' chest because I looked at the after effect of what you did. You went and argued with the Sacramento Kings fans and being disrespectful. But if the fans does it to the players, they get removed from the arena. So it's like give and take with me when it comes to Draymond Green. Like they can talk to the fans any way they want, but then if the fans react, the fans get removed from the arena. So in this situation, when it comes to Draymond Green, we seen you kick somebody in the nuts. We seen you
Hmm.
do all different types of stuff in the NBA, and you always got an excuse on why you did it. Why you just can't take accountability for your actions. And that's my issue with Draymond Green. And he's been like that at Michigan State. He was doing the
Yes.
same thing, but it was college basketball. Nobody was talking about it. But if you go back and look at Michigan State games where Draymond Green was there, he was. I'm saying he's a dirty player. I'm saying it. He's a dirty player, but he was like that at Michigan State as well. And I
Mhm.
just feel like I just never liked the guy. It's just something about his demeanor. I understand that you're passionate about the game and you want to be a champion, which you are a four-time champion.
Yes.
But he is. But you have to act like a champion. And I think when they played the Kings, he just didn't act like it, in my opinion.
You know, I'm very disappointed in him. I mean, he's been through this time after time after time. Now he's putting himself in a position where he's going to affect maybe the outcome of the game and the effect it's going to have on his teammates. And we already know what happened preseason, so he's trying to live that down. And then this compiles more issues, more problems. I just feel that, I know he's a very important clog to the team and how their success and the four rings and future Hall of Famer and all that. But damn, when is enough enough? When is
Yeah.
enough enough? You know, at the end of the day, again, a lot of people complaining, he shouldn't have got suspended. I think he should. I think he should. Again, I think it was warranted. No doubt in my mind. And I've looked at the film about 40 times, and my answer still comes the same way. He definitely should have been suspended.
Yeah, it just we understand people want to bring up they feel like Rodman was a dirty player or other centers was other dirty players,
Hmm.
but you got to look at the eras of those centers played back then where certain things was allowed, but we're not talking. We wasn't they wasn't kicking nobody in the nuts and stepping on people's chests back in the day.
No,
It was just physical at the basket. They made you earn it at the basket. So
exactly.
it was a little different back then. It was a little bit more physical back then than what today's NBA is. But when it comes to Draymond Green, is just that you have a podcast. He has a podcast just like everybody else, and you recap the game after you played the game, and you don't take accountability for your actions. You just keep making excuses over and over again. It makes you not liked in the NBA. Even earlier in the season, he had an issue. He punched Jordan Poole back in the
Yeah.
news again.
Hmm.
Like, I don't understand that you're a four-time champion and you still going through the same stuff before you wasn't even a champion. I thought you would have already learned by now. Try to avoid situations like this. Avoid it because the bullet is on your the bullet's on your back. Like everybody's coming for Draymond Green. They already know what you're capable of when you get on that basketball court. The fans are already booing you. They already don't like you anyway. They think that you're a dirty player. So if I'm Draymond Green, try to avoid that. And whatever you did, take accountability for it and move forward. But the fact that you went up on that podium and said, "Oh, I had nowhere else to go," but you jumped high as heck after you stumped on a man's chest, I'm confused. You could have hopped over him after he let go your ankle. And people saying Sabonis should have got suspended. I don't think he should have got suspended. Was he wrong for holding his ankle and he got the technical foul? Yes, it was the right call. But I think it was the actions that Adam Silver saw after he stepped on Sabonis' chest, the actions that he saw on the sideline, and the actual incident that made him get suspended. I think if Draymond Green had more sympathy for Sabonis and said that he apologized, he didn't mean to do it, and came out and said that, I think he wouldn't have been suspended. What if you think if he would have?
No, I agree with you.
Right. Okay.
Now I'm gonna tell you. You know, after the incident, messing with the crowd, did you happen to observe what Coach Kerr was doing? Not a damn thing. To me, the coach should have stepped in and handled his business right then and there. To me, so now Draymond's like, shoot, I can do whatever I want. I mean, and I think that was transpired, and that's why he was acting up, doing all them crazy antics and stuff like that. Do I think that made a definite impact? Yeah, you get the commissioner in the stands. You're kind of representing his brand. He's got a lot to the shareholders. He got the owners. I mean, he's got a lot on his back as well. So you got to look at the big picture, not just that individual. It's the big picture, and what does the NBA represent, and how is it being promoted? And to me, what Draymond did, to me, was like a disgrace to the game itself. There's ways to go about it than doing it like that. This ain't Rucker Park. This ain't, in the hood. This is a whole lot more things involved. And I think that, Draymond should have used his head a little bit more, because now look what he's doing. Now, they're down 2-0. Who knows what's going to happen now? You know what I mean? Bad situation. Don't look good for the NBA, the brand.
So Mr. Winters have a question. He said, are we just a little disappointed that the NBA chooses to suspend players during the playoffs? I don't think it's disappointing, in my opinion. I think is this. If you don't do it in the regular season, why they should suspend? They should suspend you in the regular season if you do it in the regular season. But the fact that you do it in the postseason is not. I don't think it's disappointing. I think it's deserving. If you do something as a careless act in the postseason that's going to cost you, and you don't care that it costs you, why should we be disappointed? And
no,
Draymond. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Kyle. Go ahead, let him know. Let him know.
You know me. Hey, I'm glad I'm on the show because I got a lot to say. Now, Mr. Winters, check this out. Am I disappointed? Absolutely. Not at the reason you guys are referring. I'm disappointed that these players don't take accountability for themselves, and that they wouldn't be doing things like that in order for them to be suspended, or especially during the playoff time. So yeah, I am disappointed because you want to see the best of the best. You don't want to see players go out because of stupidity or different crazy antics. So am I disappointed? Of course I want to see, because you want to beat the best when they have the best. So absolutely I'm disappointed. But I'm disappointed in the players themselves who don't accept accountability and responsibility for their actions.
Yeah, I think if this was if this was in the regular season and Draymond Green did the same thing, I think he still would have been suspended. I don't think the postseason in his regular season, it doesn't make a difference to me. I think if he would have did this in the regular season, he would have got suspended, because it's Draymond Green at the end of the day. He has a reputation, and like you said, reputation precedes you. So hopefully Draymond Green learns from this. And you get on your podcast, Draymond Green, and I'm calling you out, Draymond Green. If you get on your podcast and take responsibility and accountability for your actions, people would look at you in a different light. It's plain. It's simple and plain. It's simple and plain. I think Mr. Conn froze up. I'm not too sure what happened to him. You froze up a little bit. I was like, what's going
It's
on?
okay. Hey, I'm used to that. Things happen.
Good for that. So let's get into last night.
But look how many people watched that game. Look at how many millions and millions of people watched that game.
Yeah, it was millions of people that watched that game.
From read the game, I broadcast the game. So I come from a couple of different views. So I put that when I make my analysis, I put that in there.
We trying to get Mr. Conn Man back real quick. He froze up again, y'all. He froze up again. It's understanding. If he wants to calm down and talk about it, that's absolutely fine. I'm not. If you want to calm down and just talk about it, Mr. Conn Man, just let me know. Because I know it's lagging on your end, but it's absolutely fine. But it's definitely, I understand when you're. It was millions of people watching, and everybody's going to have their own um, perspective of it. When it comes to the Draymond Green situation. So Draymond, I just really hope you learn from this. He's going to come back, y'all. I hope Draymond Green, learns from this and and be better. He has to be better. Like people would try to defend Draymond Green, saying that he's the best. He's the best big man in the playoffs. I understand that people respect his game, but I don't. I was never a big fan of Draymond Green coming out of Michigan State, and I'm not a big Draymond Green fan now. I don't care if he's a four-time champion or not. To me, I feel like when Draymond Green goes to another NBA team, I just feel like he's just not that relevant. I think he's only relevant because he's on the Golden State Warriors. My absolute personal opinion. I'm waiting for his camera to come up before um, we bring Mr. Conn back on here to talk about the three games that's going on tonight and recap the games from last night because we had one good game, and I can say that because the Hawks came back. Mr. Comment for some reason I don't know what's going on with your thing here, but hopefully you could come back in and come back out. Hopefully we can have Mr. Conrad come back and talk more NBA basketball. But do you guys believe that the Clippers will be able to outlast the Phoenix Suns if Paul George doesn't return? That is a good question. We are going to get to that game as well because I want to break down that game. I want to break down that game. But we're going to break down the first game of Game 2 in the Eastern Conference, where you had the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics were already up 1-0 going into this series, and it was already a blowout from the get-go when this game started. But Atlanta makes their runs as usual. Atlanta makes their runs as usual. So looking at this game and looking how this game went, if we're going to go through the box score and look at the scoring of this game. So we had the Atlanta Hawks starting five. We had John Collins play 30 minutes. He was 2-11 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3, and he only had 5 points. You had Hunter played 38 minutes, 8 of 19 from the field, 2 of 9 from the 3-point line. He had 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 12 rebounds in 18 points. 18 points and 12 rebounds. Then you had Clint Capella. Of course, we're not going to get no points from Clint Capella, but he played 22 minutes, 2 of 4 from the field, only had 4 points. Then Trae Young. Trae Young played 34 minutes. He was 9 of 22 from the field, 2 of 8 from the 3-point line. He had 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and 24 points for Trae Young. Then we had DeJounte Murray, which I think is the best player on his basketball team. I don't even think Trae Young is the better player. I think DeJounte Murray is the reason why he's here. He played 40 minutes, 11 of 24 from the field, 7 of 13 from the 3, and he had 29. And then you had Boban Bogdanovic had 18 off the bench. And then you had Okongwu had 8 off the bench for the Atlanta Hawks. So for the Boston Celtics, You had 4 out of the 5 players in double figures when it comes to starters. Jason Tatum, 29 points. And my man is back, ladies and gentlemen. My man is back. But I was
No,
just going through the box score for the Boston Celtics and Atlanta Hawks series. And I'm gonna get your thoughts on that. Jason Tatum had 29 points last night, 12 of 22 from the field, 5 of 9 from the three. They had 4 players in double figures. Smart with 14, Derek White with 26, and Jalen Brown with 28. And then off the bench, you had Michael Brogdon with 13. So they played a collective game, and they did shoot. Boston did shoot 45% from the three, and they shot 55% from the field. For Atlanta, they shot 42% from the field and 33% from the three. How do you feel about this Boston Celtics and Atlanta Hawks series? Do you think that Boston gets out really fast and have them up by a large margin and let them come back in the game? What are your thoughts on this series?
I think right now the Hawks do not stand a chance. I think the way the Celtics are playing, they are focused. Their intention is to not only get to the final, but to win the chip. And right now, it seems like they're playing on all cylinders. And you got to remember something too. Look how deep their bench is. If you notice, Grant Williams didn't even get in the game. I mean, they're playing that well, and he didn't even get in the game. And like you talked about contributions, I mean, Jalen Brown probably gonna make All NBA. You got Marcus Smart, defensive leader, establishes a defense. You got probably a person that should be starting, but he's accepted the role of coming off the bench, and he could be sixth man of the year. I mean, he's having a tremendous year as well. And Malcolm Brogdon, I'm referring to. This guy is just plays a solid game. He comes off the bench, makes the right play, makes the right pass, penetrates when he needs to, dishes when he needs to. And then you get Derek White, who I did not expect to be as effective as he's been. I mean, coming over from San Antonio, I mean, he was a little raw last year, got his foot a little wet. Now he's like part of the fixture. Defensively, plays real solid defense. I think they're just very tough. Then you got the man in the middle, Robert Williams. I mean, you got a rim protector. Then you got the old man, Al Horford. Like when the Celtics won the other time, they had a great starting five, but they had a very good bench. And they were great role players who fit their role perfectly. I think the Celtics right now, they got a great starting five, and their role players are almost as effective. And really, they don't lose too much. Matter of fact, they gain a little bit more defensively when they have their second team that comes in. So to answer your question, I think the Hawks, they're just not ready. They're not ready, And then, with all the coaching changes as well, and then you got the thing about Young being possibly traded. I think that plays a part as well. And then, allegedly he was responsible for the other coaches being dismissed. I think that caused a problem. I think it caused a little bit of dissension amongst the teammates as well. And if you look at their team, they're not really that strong at all. They're really not strong at all. They got DeAndre Hunter. He's played pretty well. Capella, he's like on and off. I mean, there's no consistency there at all. I thought Bay would be playing better. I mean, I like DeJounte Murray. I like the way he's playing. Young is young. I mean, 9 for 22. And they really don't have much of a bench at all. So to answer your question, I think it's going to be 4-0. I think the Celtics are going to enjoy that, get that rest, and prepare for whomever they're going to play, which I believe is going to end up being Milwaukee. But I think that the Celtics are definitely primed for success in the Eastern Conference.
And you know what? I think when Atlanta lost Kevin Huerter to the Sacramento Kings, that really hurt their chances. They really hurt their shooting. Yes, you went out and got Murray, but Murray is a shooter too. But you lose Huerter, that could have been an extra shooter that would have helped out Trae Young. But when they got rid of Kevin Huerter or let Kevin Huerter walk, I was like, yeah, Atlanta's not going to be that great this year. But I feel like when it comes to Atlanta, it's a lot of changes going on. And you said there's a lot of changes going on. Trae Young possibly being traded. And if he does get traded, where would you think he'd go? Because knowing that he did get the last coach out of Atlanta, do you think that would be an issue with another basketball team if he's not happy where he's traded to?
Think about it from two perspectives. Think about it from the player's point of view. Think about the coach's point of view. He come up here, I might lose my job. It's possible he may try to run me up out of here. And
Right.
also another thing too, he's not the only one that had trade rumors. John Collins. How many rumors has he been about? They're getting rid of him. You know how it is as a player to not know if you're going to be traded. I mean, you don't have that comfortability. You don't have that structure because you don't know if you're going to come or go. And I think that's definitely shown in Collins' game. Another one. I mean, he played 30 minutes, 2 for 11, 7 3-points, 1 for 7 from the 3-point line, 5 points. He got that bag. He got the bag. So something's going on there. Something's definitely going on with that whole organization. I don't know if it's going to be restructured. That's why I think they got the coach that they did to come in midway through the season to see what needs to take place. And if Trae Young's part of that move, but like you said, who's going to take on that responsibility? I tell you what, I have my reservations. He got to go with the right team that has, that can surround him with more defensive players. He needs a team that can help benefit his game. And I don't know. That's a good question, man. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. But it's going to be fun down.
Because it's going to be tough to try to trade him to a winning winning franchise right now. It's going to be hard because these teams are building continuity in the playoffs, and you got to look. I don't know where Trae Young would fit for real right now when it comes to a Lakers or a Memphis. What if these teams are willing to give up for Trae Young? That's really what it is. I don't see any of the playoff teams going out and getting Trae Young right now.
Don't either. I really don't. I don't know what they're going to do. But I think, definitely going to be 4-0. Celtics going to win this one easy. And they're probably going to have home court event against Milwaukee. They won't. But, I mean, I think they're going to be well rested. And Celtics, man, dangerous. And we don't know exactly what's happening with Giannis. We don't know what condition he's in. Right now, he's skeptical. I heard he might play. He might not play. And they're going to come at him at that part as well. It seems like the Celtics are healthy, too. You don't hear about no injuries right now. They're playing. They're very healthy. They got a deep bench. They're well coached. I mean, man, Celtics going to be tough to deal with.
They're going to be tough to deal with. But let's talk about another team here. And let's talk about this series, the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now we've seen the New York Knicks take game 1, and the Knicks fans were excited. One of my friends that live in New York sent me this video of the fans being excited after the getting a playoff win in so many years because the Knicks been waiting for it, and I completely understand. But I have to say this about the New York Knicks. They didn't come out with no sense of urgency in game 2. No sense of urgency. Yes, they played a competitive first quarter, but then when Darius Garland got going, the game was over. The game was over by halftime, in my opinion, because the Knicks, defensively, the Knicks, they had no answer. They had no answer for Donovan Mitchell, even though Donovan Mitchell didn't play that well, but he did have 14 assists to help his basketball team. But Darius Garland was the guy for me, with 32 points, 8 of 17 from the field, 6 of 10 from 3 with 32. Darius Garland finally stepped up because he didn't have a great game in game 1. And Jalen Brunson was able to do whatever they could in game 1. Game 2, defensive adjustments happened. And Thibodeau could not counter adjust with what Bickerstaff wanted to do. He stayed with what he knew, and the Cavaliers won 107-90. What was your thoughts on this game and how the Cavaliers made defensive adjustments to make the Knicks look uncomfortable all night?
As I spoke last night, it's all about adjustments, and not only about adjustments, but when you make the adjustments. And obviously, Tibbs, he got out coached last night, obviously. And what's really scary regarding that game, just check this out. Garrett Allen played 35 minutes. He got 9 points. Evan Mobley, 13. They didn't even play at their best. Imagine what they're going to do in the next upcoming games. So they really didn't get that much production. Not that they really needed it, but I'm saying when they stop playing better too, it's going to make a world of difference. I mean, I think everybody got happy because the Knicks won that first game, and they played with a lot of emotion, a lot of heart, and I think they were just happy to get one. I think they were just happy to get one. A lot of teams, they get that one, okay, now we're going back home, advantage is ours. It don't always work that way. It don't always work that way. Tide can change. I think the momentum began with the Knicks. I think Cleveland said, "Uh-oh, we got woke up." They said, "Uh-oh, we got a game. We got to come ready." And I think again, the adjustments that were made proved effective. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he only now you know him. He can get you 45 in a minute. He only took 11 shots, 13 assists. Shows he's unselfish. That ain't all about him. I think that was a major effect. Darius, he was told, "Look, you need to be more aggressive. You need to shoot the ball more. You need to be more." And look what happened. 8 for 17 from the floor, 32 points, 7 assists. I mean, he did the damn thing. And then, they had, a little bit help from the bench. But I think Cleveland's going to end up winning this series. I definitely believe, even though they're going to go back to New York, I think that New York will play with a lot more emotion. Tibbs is going to have them ready. Tibbs is going to have them, playing a lot harder. But I think at the end of the day, the Cavaliers are definitely going to win the series. I know New York fans are upset, but I'm keeping it real. Stephen A's happy, but hey, I'm going to keep it real.
And I have to agree, even though Julius Randle had 22 and Jalen Brunson had a quiet 20 points in his game, but it really gets me where defensively for the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they only had the Knicks shoot 36% from the field and 24% from three. That tells you that the Cleveland Cavaliers played great defense around the perimeter, and they didn't let them get easy baskets, in the paint as well. So the Cleveland Cavaliers had a great defensive game. They was clogging the lanes, they was getting deflections, getting steals, getting out in transition. So the Cleveland Cavaliers played really well. There was 49% from the field and 42% from three for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
So. And also check this out too. You got it. I'm just looking at it right now. You got Josh Hart, who had a tremendous first game, played tremendous. Mm-hmm. You got him, 27 minutes, 2 for 3 field goals, 5 points. Again, you got to be a little bit more consistent, I believe. Then you got Grimes went off the first game, 0 for 2, 4 points. So you got to have a little bit more consistency. I'd rather have someone get me 15 points a game on a regular basis than someone getting 28 and then 4. You want to have that consistency. You want to have at least, hey, I'm going to get at least 15 points out of them. I'm going to get 10 rebounds. You may get 30 and then get 4. I think that definitely changes the projection of the game and how you play the game as well. I think that quickly again, Mitchell Robinson, 21 minutes, again, 1 for 2. He's not a scorer, 5 rebounds and 2 points. Come on.
Only you got rebounds? It seemed like it was more than that.
That's what I'm saying. So the Knicks, I don't know, man. I like them. I like the way, they come back here. I like the way Randall came back because he was booed by New York fans. I like the way, and that guy didn't miss a damn game until he got hurt the last 5 games of the year. You got to give him credit for that with all this load management stuff. Got to give him a lot of props for that. And I think, R.J. Barrett's getting a lot of heat because they could end up obtaining Mitchell. So, again, these players, man, it's not that easy, man, when you get that thing over your head where you can get traded. It puts a load on your mind. It really does. I don't think people can realize that, man, because that's the whole thing. You got to change your life. You got to change it. It weighs on you, man. It's not just basketball. You know what I mean? So I think that's an important thing. It definitely is. It can wear on you. It could definitely wear on you. And then, I don't know what your take is on this. How come Derrick Rose ain't getting no rhythm? Even a little bit. He ain't getting nothing. And they pay. Evan Fournier is getting that bag. I don't know if he's getting paid to sit on the bench. Either. Derrick Rose, I think he could add something, man. I don't know.
I just don't like the rotation for Tibbs. Not having Derrick Rose at least get some minutes, him and Evan Fournier.
Give him some.
You got to, if your guards is struggling, if your starting guards are struggling, even your 6th man is struggling, You got to go deeper into your bench. Evan Fournier is a shooter, and Derrick Rose, it could be, even though Derrick Rose is not the Derrick Rose of what we know of or what we remember, but Derrick Rose definitely can come off the bench and get you some points and help out and try to cut to the lead. But they didn't play at all. They were suited up, but they didn't play at all. It's
And
sad.
then something too, and something too. Regarding Derrick Rose, he been there. He been in the wars. That experience matters. A lot of these guys, first time playing in the playoffs. Yeah. Having a veteran presence on that team could make a world of difference. But I guess we'll never know. You're going to pay Evan Fournier all that 30, 40 million to sit the bench? Come on.
Yeah, and you got to think about it too. Like and another thing I have to say about Tibbs, even though that you lost this game yesterday, while your starters were still playing with like 2 minutes left 2 or 3 minutes left in the fourth, I just didn't understand that. Julius Randle had a dunk, and he slipped on the floor and almost had the same injury as Giannis. These guys need to get out the game, even though that you lost. Even though you're losing the game, it's 2 minutes left. You're not coming back. You're down so much. Tibbs, come on now. You should have learned from the Derrick Rose situation when they played Philadelphia and he tore his ACL because you didn't want to take him out of the game after the Bulls was blowing out my 76ers. I'm sorry.
All right.
You should have learned from that. And I think as a coach, get your players out and get them prepared for game 3.
Absolutely. 100%. They were down by 15, 17. Get them out, get ready for the next game. Because now you're going to risk injury. And look what happened. He's lucky because he could have got hurt real bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He could have got hurt real bad. And I forgot to throw this out there. Shout out to Karis LeVert. He played 40 minutes, 9 of 16 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3, and had 24 off the bench. Karis LeVert had a great game yesterday.
Karis, man, he had a heart condition. He's been through that. He's been like, it seems like he's like on I don't know. He's been to so many teams, and but wherever he goes, he's effective. He's very effective, and it's good to see him with a playoff contention team. Although they can probably go pretty far. I'm very happy for him. I mean, he's been through hell and back, and for the team to have that much faith in him, I mean, like you said, 9 for 16, 24 points. He's going to give you that steady influence. And, of course, he's got a lot to prove as well. I think he got a little chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? When you get traded so many times and, all the stuff he's been through, for him to come back and have the year that he's having and the effect that he can make on the Cavaliers, I think it's crucial. And I'm very happy for him. Very happy.
Absolutely. And now they go back to New York for games 3 and 4. I'm looking forward to seeing these games and see how the Knicks bounce back. But like you said, I have the Cavs winning this series over the New York Knicks overall in this series. But let's go to the last game of last night, which you was in the chat for, and we had that conversation about Draymond. But the Phoenix Suns ties the series up against the Los Angeles Clippers, 123-109. This game was close until the second half when Devin Booker went off. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant got their Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Kevin Durant, those 3 mid-range jump shots were falling in that second half. And it started at the end of the first half when Devin Booker made the 3 to tie it at 59. But 25 points for Kevin Durant. Torrey Craig had 17. DeAndre Ayton had 14. Chris Paul had 16 and Booker had 38. You only had 2 people play. That was Biyombo and Jakoji. Biyombo had 6. Okogie had 7 off the bench. All 5 players was in double figures in this game. Let's talk about it. What was your thoughts on this win for the Phoenix Suns?
Hey, boss, there's one other point you didn't make. Those 5 big scores you're talking about, they all shot over 50% from the floor. Check that out. That makes a damn difference, number one. Number two, I was really impressed with, the way that they came out. And, on your live stream, by the way, y'all need to tune into that because that's off the hook. But, I mean, we were going into it. We was having a good time. But, I mean, it was like almost like a boxing match going back and forth. The Suns were playing pretty good at first. Then the Clippers were playing good at first. But then As you were saying, the tide was changing. But if you look at it, Torrey Craig, he hit some clutch shots from the wing, the 3-pointer shots he was hitting. He went 5 for 8. I didn't expect that from him. Come on, 17 points. He played well. I'm gonna get to the old man in a minute. You got Booker, who was playing out of his mind. He got that mid range. He got it all. He got it all. He was attacking the basket. He's the man. 4 for 7 from the free throw line. Played 45 minutes. As you know, he's playing over 40 minutes per game, and he's doing the damn thing. Matter of fact, they were talking about. I don't know if you caught it last night. Durant called up the coach. He said, "Look, man, I want to know that we're on the same page." And the coach said, "Look, just play, just do you." Because he called the coach before the game. Said, "Look, this is what I want. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page." And if they again, all them guys shot very effective. Kevin Durant, he's like a surgeon. He only does what's necessary. He doesn't have to go out the way. 10 for 19. 0 from 4 from 3-point. I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? But again, very effective. He can get a shot anytime he wants. I think he wants what's best for the team. He's trying to fit in. Of course, he got Book in there. But now you look what you got. You got him. You got Book. You got Craig. And then I'm gonna have to go to the old man. I'm sorry. I gotta go to my man, the old man. My man. He's old. He's this. He's that. He's injury prone. All that. Throw that out the window. Now we're talking about 2023. The man's healthy. He got scoliosis, if you know what I'm trying to say. He got some stuff. He's not scared of the pitcher. He's not scared. My man is a great person to have, and I think that he realizes that window is closing. It's almost damn near closed, and I think he realizes that, and he's playing healthy. I think he's taking care of himself a little bit more. I think he's kind of not low management, but 38 minutes, that's okay. I don't think he's really going cuckoo yet, but I think that his impact was because we were on a live show last night. He was hitting some clutch shots. Coming to that pinch, that middle, he goes to that foul line, fades right every single time. He does that and gets away with it and hardly ever misses. So I'm very happy for him. But again, a long way to go. As far as the Clippers are concerned, it takes away. My man, I'm sorry, man. He's gone through some hell. My man, Mr. Westbrook, excuse me. They were called Westbrook last night. I almost think that's his name right now. But he had an outstanding game. 36 minutes, 9 for 16 from the floor, 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. He shot good from the foul line. I think it was 8 for 8 from the foul line. He just had a tremendous game. But Kawhi, if you notice though, it was just them two. Kawhi was Kawhi. 11 for 20. I think that if they had Paul George, it might have made a difference. I think that there's a lot expected out of Norman Powell. They expect him to do a lot as well. Yeah. And Batum, 88 years old. He can come and play once in a while. But no, I'm just keeping it real. 19 minutes, 0 for 4, 0 points. I'd rather have someone who's going to be more consistent. That's what I look for. I don't look for guys who got way high. Not everybody's going to shoot perfect. Not everyone's going to play. I understand that. But if you can have some consistency, your team knows what to expect. You know what I mean? That's just me. That's just the old school speaking on me. You know what I mean? But the Clippers are undermanned right now. I think this is all ready for the Suns to capitalize. And the more games that KD gets to play with them, the more he's going to fit in even better. I think they don't. How many had 11 games together? The more they play together, the more. And then something was even better. The time off between games gives them more practice time. You just look at it. This is all going into the Suns' hands, and it's unfortunate because you want the best to play against the best. And Paul George, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to be around for this playoff run. So I'm definitely going to go with the Suns in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Suns to win this series as well. My thing was this that changed the whole trajectory of this game was the defense was not as intense for the Clippers like it was in game one. Now, when you saw Westbrook get in foul trouble, you see that he had to back off.
Mm-hmm.
so he won't get those more to get those early fouls. And I think that really hurt the trajectory of the Clippers when it comes to getting out in transition and getting those plays. And they can't be physical because a lot of players was in foul trouble when it comes to the Clippers. Eric Gordon didn't play too well. I mean, he only had 12 points. He didn't play too well, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what you could get out of Eric Gordon when he's away.
Yes.
You know what you could get out of him. Mason Plumlee, I think he could come in and just be a rebounder. I know he's not going to be a scorer. He's an old man as well. So I'm not really expecting much of him. Um, Terrence Mann, I was kind of surprised that he played 26 minutes, only 10 points.
I
But
know.
I just think that they didn't give him the ball enough to let him do his thing like they did in game one. Understand that Westbrook was having a good game. Don't get me wrong. But if Terrence Mann's going to come in, he can score, he can rebound, he can defend. Even though 26 minutes is still a lot for a guy that's coming off the bench, but I just think he didn't touch the ball enough. He was only two. He was only what 3 of 3 from the field, and he was 2 of 2 from the 3-point line. So he didn't really touch the ball much for him to even contribute offensively. So when it comes to the Phoenix Suns now, I think Chris Paul wouldn't be playing as many minutes if Cameron Payne wasn't injured.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely correct. Mm-hmm.
And
Very true.
and knowing that if the Suns get deeper into the playoffs, you're going to want Chris Paul healthy and fresh. So I think if when they get Cameron Payne back, you don't have to give as many minutes to Chris Paul. Yes, he's going to start the game. He might get what like 26 to 30 minutes, but you'll still give Cameron Payne more minutes or the even of minutes so you could give Chris Paul that rest.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. You know what's funny though is I'm wondering what they're gonna do. I want your take on this. I'm surprised he's not playing as much. Is T.J. Warren? What's up with him?
Well, for what I remember, I knew that he was, TJ Warren was coming off of that injury, but I saw him get in the game last night, but I was kind of confused why he's not getting many minutes. I don't know if they're trying to, and I'm just speculating. I don't know if they're trying to nurture that injury, make sure that he doesn't go too fully. But I just know TJ Warren has not been the same since he got hurt.
Right.
But but at the same time, you gotta give a guy a chance to build his confidence from that injury. Let him get out on the floor, get his feet wet. But I think 12 minutes wasn't enough. TJ Warren
Yeah.
could definitely be a factor for the Suns. They can really help out from off the bench.
Now I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm sure you know because I'm enjoying your live stream because it's such a fantastic. You guys got to tune into that. I'm gonna tell you someone who's gonna make an impact. I'm gonna tell you right now. You heard it here first. Terrence Ross. I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna make somewhere down the line. He's gonna make an impact. You're like, what is he talking? Terrence Ross. I'm telling you right now. He's going. I'm not saying he's gonna get 30 points. Before the series is over, he will make an impact. You heard it here first. Unless he's hurt. If he's healthy,
you heard it here first on the Darion Hopkins show. Terrence Ross will make an impact. Y'all heard
I'm
it
telling
here
y'all, unless he's hurt, that I don't know about, Terrence Ross will make a major impact. You heard it from me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna get into the last part of the NBA talk, and that is the predictions for tonight's game. We have 3 game twos tonight. And at 7:30, the first game will be the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Memphis Grizzlies. We all know that John Morant probably is going to be doubtful for this game the way that he hurt his hand in game 1. Mr. Conn, man, who are you taking in game 2 here? Is it obvious that we're taking the Lakers in this game as well? Or what break it down for me. Break it down for me.
I can break it down real simple, real simple. Even before, believe it or not, I know I must have been on something, but even before the trade deadline, I expected the Lakers to be able to reach the conference finals at least. And then with the additions that they made, I mean, they improved tremendously. Again, they're healthy right now. I think they have, again, as I said before, It's great to have your first five, but look what they received as far as bench help. Now you look at Phoenix Suns right now, what they had to give up. A lot of times when you give up to get someone, look what Dallas. You get rid of all them people, it comes and ends up being an effect. The Lakers really didn't have to give that much, and look what they obtained. So, in that regard, I think that the Lakers all the way. I think that the Lakers are playing very well. I like the look that you got my man coming off the bench to get what do you get 29 points. He got 29. Then you got yeah. Then they got my man Reeves. I remember him when he was at Oklahoma. I knew he could play. I didn't know he was gonna be this good. I mean, Reeves is out of his mind. I mean, he has no fear. I mean, it seems like he don't fit in with them, but he does. I mean, not. I mean, just the way he looks, the way he don't look like a Laker, but he plays.
His aura, his persona, look like he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for explaining it. Thank you for covering me up on that one. But look what he's doing. He's doing the damn thing. I mean, I mean, I think that that takes a load off of AD. It takes a load off LeBron because now you ain't just gotta focus on them. You gotta focus on somebody because it opens the doors wide open. It opens the doors wide open. Now, my boy, Bain, said the other night, well, he had a great game, but see if he can do it again. He don't have to do it again. He did it that game. They did it that. They don't have to do that every game. You're not going to expect them to do that every game. But they did what they had to do that game. So to go and say, you're going to expect him to get to, no. He's going to do whatever it takes. They're both going to do whatever it takes. If it's 15 points, 12 points, they're going to do whatever it is for the betterment of the team. And that, again, what they did they're going to open see. To me, the offensive game revolves around spacing. If you can space the floor, then you get the defense don't know where to go because you're swinging the ball, boom, boom, cutting the hoop. I mean, that's what makes the game fun to watch when you got people constantly moving. Back door, front door, pick and roll, pick and pop. I don't want to get too detailed with you. But I mean, it makes the game more interesting. And the Lakers right now, they are on a roll. Again, you figure LeBron's just falling back. When they need him, he's going to be there. Mm-hmm. And AD is finally playing with some intensity that consistently. Again, he's playing his role. I mean, I think tonight, their role, they're going to step up a little bit more. I think Reeves is going to fall back. I think whatever his name, Hachimama, he's gonna fall back. Sorry about that, but I mean, I think he's gonna fall back. And it may be Russell, it may be Schroeder. Look at the plays they got that can do things. You see, it opens. Now they just can't concentrate on AD or LeBron, and that I think is going to be the reason why they get past this series and it can go even further. It's very unfortunate with Memphis because I like them. But the loss of Adams, the loss of Clock. I mean, now you got the main man himself. I mean, if you see that fall, that wrist, I mean, you just can't shoot. You really can't handle the ball. And he's effective when he penetrates and his 88-inch vertical leap and all that. He ain't gonna be able to do what he normally does. And they're gonna come after their hand. They're gonna go after their hand. So I think that's gonna. I don't know how effective he can be. Bain's gonna have to step up a lot. My man Brooks really better step up. I mean, J.J. Jackson, he's doing a damn thing. He's going to have to be – I mean, it's a lot to put on them guys to cover up the loss of Adams and Clock and probably Ja. So they're put in a real bad situation. They're going to play hard, though. They're going to give it their best, but Lakers got them.
I have to agree. I'm taking the Lakers to take this game, too, but I have the Lakers overall winning the series.
Oh, absolutely.
Moving on to the next round. I think Ja Morant is just not 100%. He has people say that he has so much other stuff going on that he's not thinking about basketball. I think he's thinking about basketball. I don't think he's worried. He's worried about the off the field issues, but he's not thinking about it right now. He wants to win basketball games.
Absolutely.
But the way he fell on his hand, it's kind of concerning of me because Desmond Bain has to step up, and now all these guys got to step up. And losing Steven Adams and Clark at your center and power forward position, it really hurts the Memphis Grizzlies as a basketball team. People say, oh, they 28-5 without Ja Morant, but Steven Adams and Clark was there when he was 28-5 without Ja Morant. So you still missing two other key components outside of Morant. So for me, Memphis is not as deep, and I think Jared, Jared Jackson Jr. is going to have himself a good series, but he's going to need help, and it's going to come from people coming off the bench, and it's going to have to be Desmond Bain, especially Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks, you talk a lot of trash, and
Yeah, don't we?
he talks a lot of trash talking about, oh, it'll be good to get the Lakers out of the first round, but you have to win a game in the playoffs first. You have to win a game in playoffs first. You have to beat the Lakers to say that to get them out the first round. You're going to have to do your due diligence. And he has not done that, and he didn't shoot effectively in game one. But I have the Lakers taking game two, and I think my key player is going to be D'Angelo Russell. He did not have a great game in game one, but I think he's going to be the guy to step up in game two. Austin Reeves is still going to do his thing, but I don't think he's going to go off like he did in game one. D'Angelo Russell is going to have a better game in game two for me.
You know what's great about it is Hoochie Mama, Hachimura, with him and Reeves. I think they set the tone. They did what they were supposed to do. Now they got like, uh oh. You know what I mean? They set the roadblock. They set the stones ready to build what they're going to be building in the near future. They put their roles out already. They already know we got to watch out for them dudes. That makes a world of difference to the Lakers, to LeBron, to AD. And what's kind of funny, the Lakers only favored by 51%, believe it or not. I'm kind of finding that kind of strange. But yeah, 51%.
That's really strange because they even have the Lakers as a 1 point favorite. I'm like 1 point. Nah.
You know, sir, I think it's going to be a good game. I can't wait to go on the live feed tonight and check you out because it's on point. Y'all got to check it out.
It's going to be fun doing that game. So, but I got the Lakers winning. I got the Lakers winning this series against the Grizzlies. I think it's just not enough for the Grizzlies to move forward into the second round. The next game that they have up right after that is the Miami Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I know you talked about it when it comes to, is it Giannis being doubtful for this game? And then Tyler Hero's out for the rest of this series with 2 broken fingers. So this is going to be a tough game for both teams. Tyler Hero definitely means a lot to Miami. And, of course, Giannis means a lot to the Milwaukee Bucks. Who you got in this series and who you taking in game 2?
According to, not that I go by what they say, but they got the Bucks favored by 76%. I'm going to roll with the Bucks. I think Giannis is definitely going to play. I think, the Bucks have won without Giannis, so they're kind of prepared for it. But I think Giannis is going to be able to play and be very effective. The Heat losing Hero is a big difference because Hero is one of the very few perimeter players that can go to the cup. You got my boy Strus. He's from DePaul, so I should know him very well. If you notice, he's a pick and pop. He never goes to the hole, so he got to rely on his shooting. And shooters, they're either on or off, most of them. So they're going to rely more on their perimeter game. Now you got my man. They're counting on Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, who's played out of his mind. I think they're going to try to do something to try to control him, but he's playoff Jim. He's going to do what he got to do. Abayo, sometimes, again, he's another one. Up and down. He needs to be more consistent. I think that, they are in a tough situation. That he got that one win. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Again, losing Hero to me is very effective. I don't expect Robinson to come out and be like a hero. That ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna be no hero. I guarantee you that. So I think the Bucks have. If Giannis is at 80%, he's gonna be a major factor because again, it's gonna open everything up for all the other players as well. And you got that my man Holiday. He ain't no joke. I think he's gonna come out and play really, really aggressive tonight. And we know what he can do. Don't be surprised if they put him on Jimmy B. Don't be surprised they put him on Jimmy B. Just letting you all know. Watch out for that. But I think it's going to be a competitive game. But I'm going with the Bucks all the way, and I got them to win the series. You did your thing, but he's not going to go any further than the Bucks. Guarantee.
Now I think if Tyler Hero was in this series after the way if he didn't injure himself,
Mhm.
the way he did. I would have took Miami in the upset to take this series because
Bro,
if
yeah,
Gian,
bro.
if I because I just feel like for me when Giannis is out the game, I feel like, and I've said this before, and people kind of disagree with me, but I think that when Giannis is out the game, the Bucks don't have no identity. That's just me, and I say that because if I'm a Bucks fan, can I really rely on Chris Middleton to carry this team? Can I rely on Drew Holiday to step up in clutch moments? Can I really rely on everybody else to do their job with Giannis not in there? And I don't know if I could trust Chris Middleton at that high level to take over a game when Giannis is out. And I just feel like the identity is gone when Giannis is off the floor. So that's why I would have said if Giannis was staying out and Hero was in, I might would have took Miami to probably go to 6 games, 7 games at the most. But if Giannis is going to play and he's almost at 80 or 90% and he can play, I got the Bucks winning in probably 5 or 6. It changed the whole different trajectory for me. So when it comes to Milwaukee, they have to come out and play better, and the bench got to play better. Bobby Portis, that's what Mo Green just said.
Ah, I was
He's
gonna bring
supposed
him
to
up.
step up. Bobby Portis, thank you, Mo Green. I really do appreciate that. But you
Yes.
need more than Bobby Portis to just step up. You need your all star in Chris Middleton to be that leader if Giannis can't go. And that's where I feel like is missing that when Giannis is off the floor. But I am taking Milwaukee to win the series, and I have Milwaukee winning game 2 and tying it up going back to Miami.
And you know something too, boss? As I think this is what's going to happen. I think they're going to throw the whole kitchen sink at Jimmy B. I think they're going to throw Bobby Portis at him. I think they're going to throw Jay Crowder at him. I think they're going to throw Drew Holiday at him. I think they're going to throw the whole ball of wax to try to calm him down, eliminate at least the way he's been playing. I think that's going to be very effective. Again, without Hero, I think that's going to make an major impact. And then that's 18 fouls. Yeah, that's 18 fouls to deal with Jimmy Playoff Butler, who's playing out of his mind. Looked like he's 22 again. But I mean, he's
Yeah,
playing out of his mind. You know what I mean? He got his legs, he got his strength. He's doing the damn thing. But I definitely think Milwaukee definitely will have an advantage. And it's a shame. Again, you want to see the best go against the best. And here,
right.
he got that bag. You know what I mean? I, it takes a little bit of a way, but I think it'll still be a good series. Miami, they're going to be well coached. They're going to come out ready to roll. They're going to do their damn thing. But I definitely got Milwaukee without question.
Yeah, I will be doing both of those games. I'll be doing Lakers, Grizzlies, Heat, Bucks, and the third game I will not be doing because I really don't care for I really don't care for the Denver Nuggets, and I really don't care for the
No,
Minnesota Timberwolves.
no.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say, comment. I'm sorry to say, brother, but I have to say this: the Denver Nuggets are the number 1 seed, but they are the boringest number 1 seed that I've seen in this playoffs. I'm sorry to say, they're just boring to watch to me, in my opinion. And I don't know if it's me being a Raiders fan and I hate everything Denver because I don't like the Broncos, I don't like the Nuggets or anything in Denver. So that might be the case for me, but the Minnesota Timberwolves and Denver Nuggets, we all know Denver Nuggets blew out the Timberwolves in game 1. Timberwolves didn't show up. They look like they just came. Oh, we're in the playoffs and that's it. That's what they look like. I mean, you do have Jamal Murray, you do have Nikola Jokic that's really good. And you got some other players. You got Aaron Gordon over there. You got Michael Porter Jr. over there. If he's healthy, can he be consistent as well? I got the Nuggets sweeping the Timberwolves. I don't see the Timberwolves winning not one game, and I got the Nuggets winning game 2 at home. What's your thoughts?
I'm with you on that. I do think Minnesota, they got to pull one off. I think they're going to get it. They got to pull one out. Probably when they go back home, they'll win one. But I look at, Denver's, although they're boring as hell. I tell you what, anybody has a hard time sleeping, watch them. You go to sleep right away. But I mean, but they do have some talent. They got Michael Porter. He's doing his thing. Jamal seems like he's healthy. They haven't really been using Reggie Jackson at all, surprisingly. You know what I mean? Jeff Green is 108 years old, but he's playing pretty good. He's effective. And then the guy who makes them at least fun to watch is Bruce Brown. I mean, remember when he played with the Nets, very
Yeah,
athletic. I mean, I like watching him because sometimes he'll do some crazy stuff. But yeah, that team is very boring. They got the big guy in the middle. Yeah, to me, I don't know. He just like you said, it reminded me of the 1950s. Just the way watching them play. That's like black and white. You might as well playing black and white TV. I mean, I did this, but they're effective. But
right.
they win. They win. Maybe that's why they win, because they're boring everybody else asleep. But they do have a nice roster. I mean, Ish Smith comes off the bench, he does his damn thing. DeAndre Jordan, I don't know if he's selling popcorn or coffee. I don't know what he's doing. He's getting paid big bucks. I don't know what he's doing. But the Denver right now, yeah, Minnesota, I expect them to win one. I think Ant's one of these games he's going to act up. I really believe that. I think the two trees in the middle, obviously they can't play well together. They're better when one's on the bench or one's out the game. They're not effective, especially when in the playoffs when they go and they attack their weakness. You already know Rudy Kane could go in nowhere near the foul line because it's a wrap. You know what I mean? So they already know that they can't put him because it's going to be a mismatch. I mean, he is sort of a rim protector, although I think he could be better. And the other guy, man, he takes more 3-pointers than anyone else. To me, it's just a bad fit for Minnesota. I think Denver's they got their number. But the next round, Denver could be in problem. But right now, Denver's got them. No question.
Yeah, that's no question for me. I'm taking Denver. I'm taking Denver in this series. So we have some other news in the NBA where Jared Jackson won Defensive Player of the Year. I didn't get a chance to talk about that. And De'Aaron Fox winning Clutch Player of the Year. Talk about that. De'Aaron Fox winning Clutch Player of the Year. I don't know who else was in the voting for that, but how do you feel about De'Aaron Fox getting Clutch Player of the Year?
Well, it's we can all have our opinion. Do you know out of 100 votes, he got 98?
Really?
Did you know that? Yes. No. Check it out. Yes. So we can say what we want, but the people who have the votes, they definitely went him all the way. And there's one other person got one vote. I forgot who it was, got one vote. But anyway, if you look, he's won 5 games, game-winning shots. Unbelievable. He has scored more points than anyone as far as clutch. They go by 5 points or under and 5 minutes or under. He is by far the clutch player. That's why they call it. They got it the Jerry West Award. He has been so effective when it comes crunch time. And if you look at game 1, you look at, he's so fast. He's so quick. I mean, you got that left hand. I mean, he's confident. Again, he has no fear. I think it was a good move. Oh, I think Jimmy Butler got one. Matter of fact, I think Jimmy Butler got a vote. But De'Aaron Fox, to me, he is definitely the man. No doubt. Fun to watch. The whole team's exciting to watch. And you know something? They got picks in the future. Their future looks very bright. I think they're going to be very good. They're just going to add to their team. They're going to, make whatever minimal changes they're going to make, but they're going to be a tough team to deal with in years. And ain't that a great thing for the NBA when they haven't been? They can't even smell playoffs. That shows the parity of the NBA. That's what's going to make the NBA so much better now. The teams that were doing so bad are all moving up, most of them. And the teams that are down there, they're going to get them some good picks in the draft, which is a whole nother story. But so the NBA, I think, is fantastic. I think the NBA is going to get better and better. I think it's good. But again, as far as Aaron Fox, De'Aaron Fox, he's no doubt in my mind, 100%. Again, we're out here in the East Coast. I don't get to see them play it as much as I'd like to because they really didn't have a lot of games that were televised. But from what I've seen, absolutely. And the team has trust in him. The team has faith in him. And he comes correct. He produces.
I have to agree with De'Aaron Fox being the clutch player of the year. And I knew Darion Fox was good coming out of Kentucky. He was one of those guys that he was going to go to the Kings, and he's finally making that leap, and being up 2-0 against the defending champions is very impressive of what the Kings have done. But look how they put this roster together. They went out and got a Malik Monk that really couldn't showcase his talent in Lakerland. But you see that even though the Lakers made they moves the way they supposed to, I'm thinking like should the Lakers should have kept Malik Monk? But in the back of my head, I'm like, no. Malik Monk looked like he could freely play the way he wants to play the game.
Now, so I don't mean to interrupt you, but think about all the players that the Lakers have let go that went on to other teams and have flourished. I'll give you Ingram with the Pelicans. I'll give you Randall with the Knicks. I'll give you my man, what's his name, for the Wizards now. He's playing real well too. What's his name?
Kyle Kuzma.
Kuzma. I can go. The list goes on. Westbrook. On it. I mean, they leave that web of that LeBron web, and then once they get up there, they can expand their game. If you check it out, they go elsewhere and they expand their game. It's a lot of pressure playing under the king. A lot of pressure. You can't play your game because you're trying to fit into what he wants or what he can best for him, as opposed to what's best for you. Now you look at Ingram. My man is off the hook. Man, if they had kept him. I'm just saying, I mean, I know that's how they got AD. I understand that, but some players, what happens, boss? Some players, it takes time for them to adjust. They may not be ready the first 2-3 years, but after that 4th, 5th year, they come into their own because they know what's expected of them. They know what their role is. They know what they got to do. But you get them in that first 2-3 years, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to expect. They don't know anything, and that's when they get rid of them. But so far, hey, it's come back. It's working for the Lakers right now.
Yeah, it's working for the Lakers and it's working for the Kings too. Because
absolutely.
they went out and revamped this whole roster. They went out and traded for Sabonis from Indiana. They went out and got Kevin Huerter from Atlanta. They went out and got some players in the draft as well with Keegan Murray, even though he's still coming to himself as a rookie. He's not really he's starting, but he's not getting the points that we know that what Keegan Murray can do. But he's going to develop. He's going to get there. But I think they found their coach. When you went and got Mike Brown, that's been under the Golden State for 6 years, you brought in a coach that has a winning pedigree.
Exactly.
I think the Kings finally figured that out. There, you just can't go out and get any coach and expect to be successful. You want to go and get a successful coach that has a championship formula, and I think that's why the Kings are performing so well. And De'Aaron Fox having one of his best years of his career because you have a coach that believes in. You have a coach that believes, and you have an organization that believes in your coach as well.
And Mike Brown, his coaching style is he's more of a player's coach. The way he is when he was with Cleveland, and when he was assistant coach at Golden State. So he learned from his mistakes, and again he's coached some very great superstars. But one thing that I wanted to bring up: can you name any max players for Sacramento?
As far as max contracts?
Think about it. So guess what? They're going to have a lot of salary cap space to make any major moves if they so desire. So they're not only the coaching system, but the management, ownership, they're doing the right thing at the right time, and it's fantastic. Their future is bright.
You know what? I don't know any max players.
There ain't.
There is no max players at all when it comes to the Sacramento Kings. You're exactly right. Wow. Kings, that organization did very well.
Yes.
Getting players that you got and not giving them any max contracts. I like
you go. Yeah. Totally.
If you notice, teams that win championships, like I'm not gonna say in the Golden State Warriors, but I'm just saying in the past. If you look at that Detroit Pistons team that beat the Lakers, I don't think they had a lot of max contract players either.
Not at all.
So when you look at teams that don't have max contracts, but they end up winning championships, sometimes max contracts might not mean anything. It might not mean nothing to a franchise. It might not mean nothing if you can't win the big one.
It might change the landscape of the NBA, my friend.
It definitely would change the landscape. Yes, if you want to get paid in the NBA, we know that. But your goal is to win a championship. Your goal, yes, you're going to get your money, but the goal is to win championships. The goal is to build your legacy.
Right.
And the fact that when you have an NBA team like the Sacramento Kings, and I think it's so refreshing for the playoffs to see the Kings back in the playoffs and see, they got this thing called Light the Beam now and
Yes.
all of that. And I think the culture is excited. And even though I'm a Sixers fan, but I'm excited as a watching the Kings and watching my Sixers. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I'm more excited to watch the Kings than watch the Sixers because it's just I don't know, that fan base is excited. Then you have, and I noticed Doug Christie is on the coaching staff for the Kings.
He was there in the old day.
Right. So looking at the players come back to the arena and watch these young Kings play in the way they play so well in the first two games. They not backing down from the Warriors. They don't care they're the reigning champions. We're going to come out here, we're going to play our game, and we're going to try to beat the Warriors to the best of our ability. Can they do it for the next couple of games? I don't know, because chasing down Stephen Curry for 7 games is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. So I like the Kings right now. I like the Kings so far. They definitely winning me over, as being, I'm going to say a bandwagon. I just like them. I'm just like them. I'm not a bandwagon. I'm just like them. I just thought they always had the talent, but never could find the coach to match the talent. And now you found a coach that matched the talent, and you build that roster to where they could be in the playoffs every year from now on.
I definitely agree. Again, as we stated before, you got the Lakers. They got these max players. Almost every damn team, you got max players. So how does that affect the rest of the team? Now you got Sacramento. Hey, we are on this together. We are on this. We're on the same boat. Makes a difference. It makes a difference. Then y'all know it makes a difference.
But now the question comes to play is this. Now, if the Kings do go deep in the playoffs, just hypothetically, I don't think it's going to happen, but just hypothetically, they beat the Warriors. They go on to play the Lakers. We're looking at history again with Lakers and Kings in the playoffs. Like, you know how exciting that is for basketball to see that series again? Like, it's just, if you know the history, if any fans that's watching this right now, you knew Lakers and Kings playoffs back in the day was some of the best series in basketball history on the West Coast.
Without a doubt. Bring back memories of Robbie Horry. Remember that?
Man, the Chris Webbers and the Williams and Shaq and Kobe, like it just will be mind-boggling to see. But I can really see the Kings definitely, building this team up, and they're going to keep improving every single year. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the game tomorrow. I'm excited to see the game.
And something too, boss, was funny is because I don't know if you remember, when Shaq became, part owner of the Sacramento, I'm like, what's he doing that for? Why can't he put his money somewhere else? I guess it's paying off dividends now. You know what I mean? Shaq is smiling ear to ear right now.
Absolutely. He sure is. So we're definitely going to talk behind the scenes about the, the preview of that game. But like I said, man, I want to thank you for coming on for the NBA segment. It's been great talking basketball with you, brother. It's been, good to actually talk sports with you. And let the people know about your show, where they can find you and everything of that nature.
Well, I'm on this Sports Empire Network. I have my show on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. called Sports Corner with the Conn Man, where I have various guests. I've had some very special guests, some NBA ball players and, some local players. And I like to, get on a lot of NBA topics as well. But yeah, you can catch me on Sports Empire Network Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. I'm also on the Sports Empire Network Friday evenings, 9 o'clock, called Top of the Key, where we do all things NBA as well. I have a great crew. I got a great, producer, Key Williams, and I enjoy doing the show. We have a ball. Y'all should tune in. It's live. It's kind of like you, not as good as you, but it's interactive. You know what I mean? But again, I want to thank you for having me on your show. I'll be tuning into the live stream. Y'all need to tune into that because it's off the hook. Next time you have me on, I'm going to talk about something that might be near and dear to you. And that's going to be when I got to play against Dr. J. That be next time.
I can't wait.
Not,
I can't wait to talk about that because like I told you, in the conversation, Bo Kimball is family of me. So yeah,
okay.
Bo
Ooh.
Kimball. If you go, I'm gonna send you the actual episode that I had. Bo and his nephew Jabbar Kimball. They actually was coaching at Dobbins High School, knowing that him. That's where him and Hank Gaddis play high school ball at. Now they don't coach there. They coach at Overbrook now. So and it was a great interview that I did with them in person. So I'm gonna definitely send that video over to you. And Bo's always up for an interview, so I could always get him to come on your show as well. We could talk about a
That'd be
lot.
great. Oh, we got to talk about the hey Overbrook. You know who went to Overbrook, right?
Doug Overton was one of those guys.
You know who
Doug,
else went to Overbrook?
I don't really see. I'm a Simon Gratz person. I come from the Rasheed Wallace era, so
Okay.
I really didn't care for Overbrook. I'm a Bulldog for life, so I really didn't care for Overbrook. But I know Doug Overton was one of those ones. I mean, Will Smith went to Overbrook as well. So
How about a guy named Wilt Chamberlain? Ever heard of him?
yes, yes. I
I'm
didn't know
old
he
school, bro. I'm old school, bro. I'm old. I'm old. I'm old.
you old school. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. See that I didn't know. I knew that he played for Philly, but I didn't know he actually went to Overbrook. Like I'm still young here. I'm still young here.
I
I'm getting
got
my
you. I got you. I got you.
But again, man, thank you so much for coming on to the show. We really do appreciate you, man. And I can't wait to come on your show and
Absolutely.
talk basketball and see if I could get Bo to come on the show and give him his history, him playing with the Clippers and the Knicks and stuff like that back then.
Well, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. No doubt. Thank you for having me on your show. I had a ball, had a blast, and again, y'all tune in to his live stream tonight. It's off the hook for real.
Thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate you coming through. I talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. God bless.
Yeah, right. You too. So that was the con man, ladies and gentlemen. That was the con man. He is in the building, and he came through to give his NBA knowledge of everything that it was when it came to basketball. So make sure y'all go check out his show on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he does the Top of the Key podcast over there on Sports Empire Network. Make sure y'all go check him out over there as well. But let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into some NFL talk. Because we've been talking basketball for the last hour and 26 minutes because there's a lot of basketball that need to be talked about. But let's get into some NBA. Some NFL. I'm sorry, some NFL talk. And I gotta say this. It's some news that came out. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers, they traded for wide receiver Allen Robinson. This is a very interesting story when it comes to Allen Robinson getting traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we know Allen Robinson came over from being from the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's where he started out at. He had most of his career with the Chicago Bears. We've seen that. We've seen him play 1 year with the Los Angeles Rams. I wanted him to be a Raider last year. But be on the opposite side of Devontae Adams. That's just me. But now he gets traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers are expected to trade him, which they did trade him, according to Adam Schefter on Tuesday. Now, in the trade, it was not Cunningham, I'm sorry. Orrin Robinson passing the physical, which he did, according to a lot of sources, that he did pass the physical. Now, the Steelers will receive a 7th-round draft pick, which is the number 251 for Pittsburgh's 7th-round pick, which is 234, according to sources. Now, Robinson is scheduled to undergo a physical, which is today, on Wednesday, in Pittsburgh, and sources said. Now, the Rams will pay $10.2 million to Robinson, 15.25 of that guaranteed salary for 2023 season, and the Steelers will pay the remaining $5 million, according to sources. Now, Allen Robinson is 29 years old and is becoming another experienced player acquired by the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason. Now, the team has typically been aggressive in free agency to go get Patrick Peterson, Isaac Samalo, and they bring back Cameron Hayward for Pittsburgh. Not Robert Woods, I'm sorry. Allen Robinson did sign a 3-year, $46.5 million contract with the Rams last season, but he only finished 1 year on injury reserve after suffering a foot injury late in the season against the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Rams is cleaning house at this point. The Rams are cleaning house. And they have a right to clean house because they're trying to get rid of the salary cap. Their salary cap is messed up. They're going to have mad draft picks when it comes to this. And they just keep doing trades and cleaning house and getting rid of people. And this is going to be a rebuild year for the Los Angeles Rams. But I think it's a good move for Pittsburgh to give a weapon for Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is a good quarterback. It almost had this team in the playoffs last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, yeah, absolutely, I see that the Pittsburgh Steelers went out and got another receiver to help out Kenny Pickett in this situation. So, when it comes down to it, congratulations to Allen Robinson. He's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Hopefully, he passed the physical today. We'll get some more news and developments of that if he passed the physical or not. But if he doesn't, then hey, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's go to another thing here when it comes to this. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers in this trade with the New York Jets. He confirmed on the Pat McAfee show that he would love to play for the New York Jets. What is the holdup, ladies and gentlemen? What is the holdup for Aaron Rodgers to be traded to the Jets? Is it the Packers' compensation of what they want? Or what are the Jets willing to give up to get Aaron Rodgers? Because I'm sick and tired of hearing about Aaron Rodgers trade talks. What is happening? What is going on? What is the speculation? This trade is at stagnant at this point. It's at stagnant. And Aaron Rodgers, if you want to be back in Green Bay, go ahead and be back in Green Bay. Because at the end of the day, bro, Green Bay is I don't know what they want. They're not putting out there what Green Bay want for Aaron Rodgers. How many draft picks you want? How many players you want? What does the Jets actually need to get Aaron Rodgers? Like, it's so many questions that I have for this because Aaron Rodgers, don't get me wrong, he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He has one Super Bowl. Yes, he has mad MVPs. Yes, we know that he's a high caliber of a quarterback. Completely understanding that. But it's the organizations that's holding up Aaron Rodgers. It's the organizations. It's the Jets. I don't know if they've been in talks with the Green Bay Packers. I don't know. But it's getting tiring and it's getting sickening that we keep talking about Aaron Rodgers over and over and over again. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of talking about Aaron Rodgers. I'm tired of talking about him being a Jet. Why do you think Odell Beckham did not go to New York? It's uncertainty in New York with the quarterback position, but at the same time, he goes to Baltimore where it's uncertainty there as well. So I got to play spade a spade here. Odell Beckham, either way, if he would have went to the Jets or he would have went to the Ravens, he still would have been uncertain about the quarterback position. And I just don't see this happening. I just don't see this happening with the trade. I don't see it happening no more. It's been months that it's almost been like, I don't know when the last time I did that actual YouTube short talking about Aaron Rodgers saying that he wants to play for the New York Jets. But nothing's not happening. And I'm sick of it. I'm tired of talking about it. But let's get into another topic that I'm sick and tired of talking about. Lamar Jackson. I'm tired of talking about Lamar Jackson. And these quarterbacks are really sickening when it comes to it. Lamar Jackson is that type of guy that You got to take notes from Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. Take notes. Lamar Jackson didn't get paid because you have not succeeded like Jalen Hurts did. Jalen Hurts statistically overly succeeded over you. And he had a harder struggle than you had, Lamar Jackson. So you need to humble yourself and take notes of what Jalen Hurts did. Because this is how I feel about it. Jalen Hurts went from being a starter at Alabama, losing his starting job at Alabama, transferring to Oklahoma, after transferring to Oklahoma and leaving Alabama. He gets drafted in the second round from the Philadelphia Eagles, knowing that Carson Wentz was the starter. They bench Carson Wentz and make Jalen Hurts the starter. He plays a full season and has a great year. Comes back the next season and come back in year 3. And now he's a Super Bowl champion. Not a Super Bowl champion, but he went to the Super Bowl. Had the best record in the NFL. Had some of the best stats as a quarterback. And even though Patrick Mahomes did win the MVP, but I really wanted Jalen Hurts to win it. But you had but he played effectively well in the Super Bowl. And now he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in football. I'm sorry to say Lamar Jackson, but you need to take notes. He's statistically better than you, passing wise. Yes, understand you're a better dynamic runner than you. You're probably a better running quarterback than you are for Jalen Hurts. But you have to blame your organization, Lamar Jackson. You have to blame your organization because they believe in Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. They believe in Jalen Hurts. They believe in putting a supporting cast around him. I don't think he vocally went to Howie Roseman and asked for an A.J. Brown. I don't think he went out and asked to get these players and that players on the defensive side of the ball. Howie Roseman set up success for Jalen Hurts to get this bag that he got, which was $255 million with $179 guaranteed. That's a fact. It's a known fact. So let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. At the end of the day, he's going to ball out. Jalen Hurts is going to ball out. And people think he's not because he got this contract. He's still humble and he still wants to win a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson needs to figure out what do he want to do with his career. Yes, you asked for a trade. You did because they franchise tagged you. And you have every right to request for a trade. Any player has a right to request for a trade. But blame your organization by putting nobody around you. Yes, you went out and recruited Odell Beckham, but you still have a contract issues with the Baltimore Ravens. So now Odell Beckham signs with the Baltimore Ravens, and you're uncertain if you're even going to be a Baltimore Raven. That's my confusion. That is my confusion. So Lamar Jackson, I hope you took notes for what Jalen Hurts did this season. He played under a rookie contract. I think you're not playing. I think you're playing under your last year of your rookie contract, if I'm not mistaken, Lamar Jackson. Don't quote me on that. But I'm sorry to say, Lamar Jackson, you had offers on the table for the Ravens and you turned it down. Understand you consider yourself a top 5 quarterback in this league. I understand that. You want top 5 quarterback money. Understanding that. But you would have been in the building. You would have been at off-season workouts if you would have signed the contracts that Baltimore offered. But at the same time, let's talk about it. Baltimore don't sign quarterbacks to big contracts. They sure don't. And this has been the problem with Baltimore for years. Years long gone. We've seen this many a times. When the last time Baltimore signed a real big quarterback on a big contract? And that was Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, when he won the Super Bowl, they ain't pay Trent Dilfer that money. They ain't pay Steve McNair that money. They ain't pay a lot of quarterbacks. They ain't pay nobody big contracts at the quarterback position for Baltimore. This is Baltimore's DNA. Baltimore's DNA is to run the football and have a great defense. That's it. That's been the identity for the Baltimore Ravens since they was even existed back in 2000 or 99 or 98 or something of that nature. But we know for a fact that this is what Baltimore does. This is what the Ravens do. So Lamar Jackson, if you think you're getting a contract right now because everybody else is getting paid, I don't know if you're going to get a contract with Baltimore. Because that's at a stagnant, just like the Aaron Rodgers trade. The Aaron Rodgers trade to the Jets is at stagnant. And Lamar Jackson contract negotiation is stagnant. And I'm tired of talking about it. I'm sick and tired of talking about Lamar Jackson. Just pay the man or trade him. Do what y'all got to do. But I'm tired of hearing that everything is at a standstill. You got to get things done. Because before you know it, the draft is next week. And we're going to see a lot of change. We might see Lamar Jackson get traded during the draft. We don't know. We don't know at all. Yes, understand that Lamar Jackson is an MVP. I understand that Lamar Jackson threw for 3,900 yards and had the best year of his career. But what has he done after that to deserve this money? That's a question that I have. But Lamar Jackson is an electrifying athlete. And he's a top five quarterback in the league, according to a lot of people. So, in my opinion, I say this. Lamar Jackson, get a contract done and be with your teammates. Because if you recruited Odell Beckham Jr. to be a Raven and you still have a contract issues with the organization, get it done. Ravens, get it done. That's all I'm asking. Get it done. Simple as that. And the last topic I really want to talk about before we go anywhere, NFL running backs in the NFL. There's been a lot of talks with NFL running backs in the NFL. And I'm going to say this cold-heartedly. Running backs are not valued as much in the NFL anymore. They're not. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you get to that age of 30 or higher, they feel like your career is over. That's what they feel like. They feel like your career is absolutely over. And you look at what's happening with Dalvin Cook. Possibly might be cut from the Minnesota Vikings. We see the contract disputes with Saquon Barkley. We see the contract disputes with Josh Jacobs. Both of them not signing the franchise tag. Ezekiel Elliott, a free agent. We seeing Derrick Henry possibly being traded from Tennessee. It's tough. It's tough. Ezekiel Elliott at once was one of the best running backs in football, not on a football team. Derrick Henry, the league's leading rusher for a long time, looked like he wants out. I just came to say go Lakers, LOL. Okay, I'm out. Shout out to the Kiki scene. If y'all have not subscribed to the Kiki scene, make sure y'all go subscribe to the Kiki scene. Make sure y'all go subscribe. Make sure y'all go do that. And the Lakers do play tonight, the Kiki scene, just to let you know. The Lakers do play tonight. They do. They play tonight. And I hope that you will be in the live stream for that as well. But as far as NFL running backs goes, Ezekiel Elliott, like I said, one of the best running backs in the league at one point. Lamar, love you. I'll bother you later. Love you too. Mwah. Love you too. Love you too. But Ezekiel Elliott, one of the best running backs in the league. And it goes to Derrick Henry being one of the league's leading rushers in the league. Now you got Josh Jacobs, which I'm a Raiders fan. I'm going to be biased anyway. Led the league in rushing last year. Still didn't get paid. Saquon Barkley was a top 5 running back. Didn't get paid. Dalvin Cook coming off of a real bad injury. But I still don't understand why Minnesota wants to cut him. I don't get it. But the running back position now is getting really skeptical in the NFL. Yes, you need to run the football. You need effective running backs, and you need that position. But do NFL organization wants to pay the players that much money, knowing that running backs fall off at the age of 30? I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to me, I'm 37 years old. I ended my career at 30, playing fullback, running back, and a few other positions when I played football. So I know how it feels to be at the age of 30 and you don't have that top end speed no more. You don't have, the body to be physical like that anymore because you're taking a beating as a running back. We see Josh Jacobs many a times be injured. We see many a times that Tony Pollard was more effective for Ezekiel Elliott. We know Derrick Henry had injuries, but he takes a toll and he takes a beating because he runs over people every single time he touches the ball. Every single time. So when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, running backs at the age of 30 really, really, it hurts. What's going on, U-Haul? What's going on, brother? It hurts. Now, where will Ezekiel Elliott end up? Don't know. What teams actually need running back at this moment? I mean, Christian McCaffrey is in San Francisco, so that's out. Where does Ezekiel Elliott fits right now? And where would Derrick Henry go if it fits? And there's one team I could say that could get Ezekiel Elliott and get Derrick Henry. Not at the same time. Not at the same time. But they can get one of those running backs. But Derrick Henry makes more sense than Ezekiel Elliott, and that is Atlanta Falcons. And let me tell you why the Atlanta Falcons should go after Derrick Henry in a trade. Because Arthur Smith was Derrick Henry's offensive coordinator at Tennessee. He knows that offense. He knows the familiarity with that offense. So if I am the Atlanta Falcons and Tennessee wants to trade Derrick Henry, Falcons make the call. And I wouldn't be surprised if Derrick Henry gets traded during the draft. I would not be surprised. I will not be surprised. But I think for Derrick Henry, the Atlanta Falcons would be the best fit because he knows Arthur Smith. He knows the head coach there. He knows the offensive philosophy for Arthur Smith. Now, for Ezekiel Elliott, people's going to say the Philadelphia Eagles. But I don't see that happening if the Eagles go out and get Bijan Robinson at number 10 in the draft. There's a few other teams that Ezekiel Elliott can go to. It's a few other teams. But at the same time, I see it. I see him going to Philadelphia if Bijan Robinson is not picked up at number 10 from Philadelphia. Now, when it comes to Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs, now this is a little bit more different because they both got franchise tagged. And they both did not sign it, and they are not at the voluntary workouts. And what happens is that Josh Jacobs understand that he's been a lot of injury prone the last couple of years. And the Raiders are nervous of paying him. They're nervous. I don't blame them. But like I said on the Nothing But Raiders podcast yesterday, as I stated that I don't think it's the price. I think it's the longevity of the contract. Just in my opinion, I just think it's the longevity of the contract that why Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley are not getting paid. I don't think it's the length of how much they're making. I think how long of the extension it is making it stagnant. But when it comes to running backs in the NFL, they're not trying to pay them $16 to $20 million a year. They're not trying to do that for running backs. And I had somebody say to me yesterday on the Nothing But Raiders podcast say that running backs are more valuable than quarterbacks. I have to disagree. Quarterbacks have more longevity than running backs in the NFL. It's a known fact. We see it. We seen Brett Favre play to damn near he was 50 years old. Tom Brady just literally retired at like the age of 45. We don't see it on running backs at the age of 45 right now. We just don't. Yes, running backs take more of a punishment than what quarterbacks does. Absolutely. I get it. But to say that running backs are more valuable than quarterbacks, completely disagree. Completely disagree. So running backs gotta, if they can stay healthy during their career and not have any bad injuries or injuries where they feel like they're going to be hurting, hey, I understand. You got to do what you got to do. But you gotta play football too. You gotta prove your contracts in the NFL. That's one thing about the NFL. You're gonna have to prove your contracts. You're gonna have to. So that's basically it for me today, man. That's basically it for me today. And there you have it. Episode 14 is definitely in the books for the Darion Hopkins Show. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 14 of the Darion Hopkins Show. We absolutely appreciate it. I'm sorry that I was not able to do yesterday's episode. This could have been episode 15 instead of 14, but I had other things to do that made me not able to do this show this morning. Unless the quarterback is a running back like Mike Vick, you're right about that, U-Haul. You're absolutely right about that. But thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Darion Hopkins Show, episode 14. We went over Draymond Green suspension. We went over the Suns, the Cavs win game 2. We went over a lot of NFL news. We had a great time. And shout out to Mr. Conn for being on the show again. Make sure y'all check out his show on the Sports Empire Network. Make sure y'all go over there on Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You do not want to miss it over there. And make sure y'all go over to SeatGeek and use the promo code DHopkins for your first $20 off on your first purchase if you want to go to live events, sporting events, anything concerts, or anything live in person. Make sure you go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase. This is the Darion Hopkins Show. I'm happy to be finishing up this show today. And just to let you know, I will be live back on this channel for the Lakers and the Grizzlies game 2 of the NBA first round of the playoffs. I might do Bucks in Miami. I'm definitely going to put a voting thing out on the community post to see if we want to do it. But thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Darion Hopkins Show. Like I said, use that promo code DHopkins and get $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek for live events, sporting events, or anything with concerts or everything of that nature. Thank y'all so much, man. Really do appreciate it. Love, peace, and happiness. And we're out of here, y'all. And I will see y'all in the next live stream or in the next video. Peace.